lovely patrons. This is like a specific video for you guys, and this is the first time that I'm really making a facing you video for the secret video that patrons get. The previous video I made was this kind of artsy, like, cut together poem thing. Last month's video is going up in June because I'm gonna do Angelica's walking tour of London. I'm gonna film that with my friend because it'll make it a lot easier, and now I have more time to film videos, whereas that month and this past month I've just been crazy busy with university, getting everything done. But now I'm going on holiday, I handed in all my stuff, and I can kind of relax. Well, definitely relax over holiday. I need to start thinking about my thesis more, but that'll come in time. I'm also a bit nervous because I'm gonna have to start thinking about finding a job, a real job, not just working at Lola's Cupcakes. And so this summer my goal is to find something in television or film that's engaging and interesting, and something that might lead to something else, more permanent. I don't really know how to break into the industry. And this is the beginning of me trying that, so yay! I'm sure that I'll keep you guys updated on what that's like and what I have to do, what I do to get from point A to point B. I'll definitely take you along for the ride. But all that aside, this video, I'm sorry for the noises, this video is me talking to you about what I wanted to be when I grew up, because I just thought about this topic the other day and I thought it'd be a really interesting one to do, and it's quite a personal one. I'm trying to make more like me being more vulnerable, basically, videos on my channel, but I'm just terrified of judgment and rejection, so I'm like trying to ease myself into opening up on topics that mean a lot to me, because I could talk about books without like getting too personal. I got my chai tea. Let's begin at the beginning. So I was always a very expressive child, and I always liked being the center of attention. Not explicitly, like I don't think it's obvious, but I definitely enjoy that when that happens. I remember when my sister was born, there was a moment where I realized like, oh, this is how it's gonna be. Because I was 5 and she came home from the hospital and I was like, ooh, let me hold her, and I held her. But then all the grown-ups were like, you know, interested in this new being. What's up, Sabrina? It was the first time in my life that I wasn't like the center of the adults' attention, if that makes any sense, and I was definitely aware of that. I've always been an imaginative child and I watched a lot of television growing up. Basically, I wanted to be an actress from a very young age. But alongside with that, my parents are very practical people. And they've always told me, or at least my dad has always told me, like, it's important to find a job and a career. You may not do the thing that you love doing, so keep that in mind. Like, have a plan. How are you gonna survive, basically? Yeah, that was just a conversation that was always brought up at the dinner table. And so I don't know if it was like explicit, but I definitely internalized it as art doesn't pay the bills. I'm sure that society did its help of pounding that message into my head as well. So for a long time I tried to find jobs that seemed well suited to me, because I've always been interested in myself and in people. So like even as a child I was like, I need to like know what I want to be. I flirted with being a lawyer for a bit. I definitely thought teacher or writer for a while because I've always been interested in words and writing, and I think I learn by writing. It definitely helps me like self-reflect or reflect. It doesn't have to be all about me all the time. So I kind of like tried to make excuses or like find alternative occupations that seemed like they could be creative and I would be well suited to them based off of my strengths and what I bring to the table. But I obviously didn't worry about it too much because I went to university and studied English and I always knew I would. And it always irritated me when I was in university and I told people that I was an English major. Adults would always be like, oh, so you're gonna be a teacher. The assumption was just because I love books and reading, like studying English, studying humanities doesn't lead to a specific like endpoint besides maybe teaching or being a lawyer. As one example, it always got under my skin because I was like, I don't have to be a teacher. I have been a teacher. I've been a teacher for a year, so I don't think it's enough to say whether or not I would be well suited for it. But it almost feels like if I became a teacher, it would be like giving into this kind of societal expectation of me, which really, really irritates me, and I don't want to do it. I think that I could teach and that'd be fine. But I think that there's another part of me that craves creativity and self-expression, and there'd always be a part of me that felt like I'd given up on or shut down if I decided to take teaching on as a full career. I think that I could always be a student. Like, I definitely would go back to university. I'm still finishing up my master's, but I definitely would go back to university, do a PhD, because I love learning and I feel like I could constantly be in school. So if someone paid me to do that on my own terms, I definitely would. But the problem with higher education these days, well, one of the main ones is that professors don't get the freedom and the luxury to teach the courses that they want to teach. They're now caught up in a lot of administrative bullshit, which is no fun for anyone. So that has dissuaded me from that as well. So what was left? Basically, after I graduated from Hartwick in 2014, happy 4-year since graduating from undergrad anniversary, I went to Nice. I got a really great deal through my university's French department, and I got sent down to Nice to teach English, and one lucky Niçois citizen came up to Hartwick to teach French there. It was a great time because I had a regular stipend and security and time to just like experience a job and being professional and having colleagues and really enjoying that environment. But I went to Nice thinking like, what am I gonna do after this? Sorry. Because it was only a 9-month contract, so, or like a year-long contract. So I knew that I'd have to come up with something. And there was the option to stay and do another year. But by the end of that year, I felt like I'd kind of exhausted what Nice had to offer me. The university, the city, the lifestyle. I would regret that later. Because Nice is fabulous. The teaching is very low-key, the hours are low-key, and you have an extraordinary quality of life because you can walk everywhere or cycle everywhere. You have really good food available to you. You have the beach and the mountains. So yeah, it was awesome. However, I didn't feel challenged in any way, which sounds so conceited, and I don't even know, I don't know. But I knew that there was something else. I knew I felt like I was lacking something, and I wanted to chase that. I wanted to figure that out. And so I took the advice of a BuzzFeed quiz and went to Portland, Oregon without a plan. I took a pit stop in Cooperstown before that to save up money to go to Portland. But yeah, I moved to Portland. I tried to get a job at a bookstore that I really wanted. And I also applied for an internship with this organization called Literary Arts, which is a non-for-profit organization that creates literary events around the city of Portland, which sounded amazing, and I was in the final 2 of the candidates and didn't get it. And I wonder what my life would be like now if I had gotten that role. I think that I would have felt definitely more entrenched in Portland and not as likely to leave it. Basically, I was a drifter more or less in Portland. I did some odd jobs. I did copy editing. Babysitting was my main income. I pet sat, I house sat. Oh, the other thing I was considering doing after graduating Hartwick was going back to school for an MFA in creative writing, because that was sort of my concentration. And I'm very glad that I didn't. Like, I'm so happy that other people do that, and I think that's the right choice for them. I will always write, for sure. I just now know that it wouldn't have been the right choice. Or maybe it would have. Who knows? But I'm satisfied that I didn't go. Anyway, back to Portland. And obviously I was in a long distance relationship at the time, and that was on my mind, and I didn't know whether to like pursue a career in Portland. But I felt very pulled toward creating a life with this person. You probably know who it is. So I moved to London to be with him. So it sounds very like, what are you doing, Angelica, with your life? But the whole time I was reflecting upon everything. It sounds super, super privileged, and it is, but I needed that kind of drifting time to reflect and decide what to do. By the time I got to London, I was pretty sure I wanted to go back to school and study filmmaking, because I wanted to work in TV. I finally wanted to give like a full, good, hard try at this thing that I think that I've always known deep down that it's something that I really wanted to do. It's my dream career. It's fast-paced, it's with a bunch of people, it's collaborative, it's creative, it's engaging. I just felt and still feel like I'm well suited to it, but I didn't have any of the technical skills to start in it, basically. I could have moved to New York City and just started from the ground up, but I really knew nothing about how to enter the industry at all, whereas now I have a better understanding of like development, production, post-production, and how to kind of angle yourself and, for better or for worse, like market yourself in a specific direction. And I'm also really glad that I went back to school to learn about the technical side of how to hold a camera, how to set it up, what ISO is, what like editing software is used, and just feeling more comfortable with the terminology and what to expect and what to ask of people, and having the freedom to like explore those things in a safe space without judgment, obviously the judgment of professors, but no like professional judgment. And then I got to combine that with living with the love of my life, and so here we are. That is my very condensed journey as to how I've decided what to do, what to be when I grow up. There's still a huge part of me that still wants to be an actress, and that feels so hypothetical because I've done nothing about it. But my hope is that with my career path as it stands now, it might like open doors somehow, and something might just perfectly slide into place. I'm definitely an opportunist, always have been and probably always will be. I'd love to write something in which I could be in. I've already done that with The Writer, which I'm editing into a narrative sequence because it was an installation piece. So you guys will have access to that soon. And if you want to get a sneak peek and see the documentation of how the installation was supposed to be, that's in the Patreon post. So just scroll back a little bit and find the link to that. You're more than welcome to go check that out. But I think that this is where this video ends. I've babbled on for quite a bit, but it's felt really therapeutic, nice, and I hope it's something of interest to you all. Please let me know what you wanted to be when you grew up, when you were a kid, and how that compares to your current situation. I also don't think that you like need to know what you want to be. I think that people should reflect and like question and push themselves and challenge themselves. But I have no judgment on anyone for like whatever point in life they are in, because it's all one big journey. It is. Cool. All right, I'm sweating. My armpits are sweating because I'm nervous. But I hope that this video is cool. Please tell me if you liked it and I'll make more of them. And thank you for being beautiful, wonderful patrons of mine. You're awesome. I don't have a way to end these because it's not my actual YouTube, so bye.